a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. And the Dodgers have won the game 5-4. I don't believe what I just saw. There's a home run. I believe. The Giants from the pennant. 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 Bobby Tyson gets into the line back. The Giants from the pennant. And they're going crazy.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC.
Here we go, 4:03 p.m. and welcome to WHPC Sports Talk. I am Michael Merlo. I am your host, and I am along with Joshua Umahi, Matt Leonard, Elijah Blain, and Ross Levine. Guys, a very, very busy Monday as baseball season is inching closer. We are just 3 days away. The Mets somehow seem to make their fans feel pessimistic about a season, but in all seriousness, I cannot wait for this baseball season to start. There's a ton of news, especially locally, with a former Mets player and former Yankee player, which we'll get to in a little bit. We are going to start with the Mets, but first, how are you guys doing?
I'm just, annoyed again that we started at 4:03, but that's not for this show to talk about. So
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Yankees season opening with the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. That's going to be fun. Again, can't wait to see Cole on the mound. And Sevy's looking a little bit better, so I can't wait to see him in Game 2.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him later. He did look good yesterday, and he's feeling good, which is the most important part about that. So as long as he's out there pitching well and feeling good, you may have yourself a number 2 starter. I don't think you're going to have that this year, but we will see. That's the debate for in a little bit. I am going to start with the Mets because there's just so much to get to, and I do want to talk about Jacob deGrom a little bit more. We only got it for a couple of minutes at 4 p.m. on Friday, so deGrom obviously has a stress reaction in his shoulder. That's his scapula. He's going to miss 4 weeks. He's not going to throw for 4 weeks and then be reevaluated. After that, it's time to build up if everything goes well. So you would think, okay, 4 to 6 weeks, starts throwing again, then you've got a buildup of another month or so. You do have to worry about him having something else flare up, which usually happens. But I'm just going to say this. For the rest of Jacob deGrom's career, whether it ends this season as a New York Met, whether he never pitches another game, any inning, any pitch he throws, to me, it's out of luxury. A vacation's out of luxury. You don't get those all the time. You don't get to just go out and have a great time, Saturday night at a bar and do something. You get to do those things. We are not guaranteed anything from this guy, and if he wants to go around saying he's going to opt out of his contract, great. I don't want to get in a bed with somebody that cries about something every time something's tweaked in his arm, but that's a debate for another day. I'm just talking about right now. It is not worth a even 2 or 3 year contract, let alone 4 or 5, which you'll be looking for. It's not worth it to go into the future with Jacob deGrom, and I am sick of it. He wants to go out there yesterday, the reporters say, yeah, I'm still opting out of the contract. How about you say, well, you know what, I have an injury now, and I want to see how this thing goes. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Why would you opt out when nobody's going to pay you what you're worth? It's just not going to happen. You're injured all the time. Yeah, you may have had one of the best seasons of all time, first halves of all time. That may be true, but it's only a half. So you can't, unfortunately, you can't put that in a whole season. And look, if he gets what I think he wants, I would probably say I'm moving on. I would be like, we're gonna look for another ace who is probably a lot younger and a lot cheaper. And that's. And look, we've seen World Series teams before win championships. They don't need a true Jacob deGrom. Unfortunately, they just don't need it. It's nice to have, but it helps. It helps, but it's not necessary. You could win in other ways. My point is, if you score runs, you have a really good bullpen, you could win a World Series with that.
I'm happy you brought that up because after this little Mets discussion we're going to have, I want to have a discussion about the evolution of starting pitching because starting pitching is going in the garbage. Teams don't value it as much as they do. Now, there are some cases where if you do have elite starting pitching at the top, you can win a World Series. It's possible. We saw it 3 years ago. The Washington Nationals did it with Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, and Patrick Corbin. They got incredibly lucky. All three guys were healthy, and they were pitching well at the same time. It's a ton of luck. And winning a World Series in general takes a ton of luck. It's not guaranteed. You don't just go to the playoffs and the best team wins every year. Yeah. Things have to bounce your way. But the New York Mets took a chance, and it's crazy that we're even saying this before the season even starts, but the Mets took a chance, paid Max Scherzer $43 million. They're paying Jacob deGrom a ton of money already, and they're saying, we're going to go win with these two guys at the top, and then even the rest of the rotation look good. But it's a risk trying to win this way. It is. And it can still go their way. If deGrom somehow gets healthy and pitches a game for this team, which, honest to God, if I had to say yes or no right now, I'd say no, he doesn't. I'd say he's made his last pitch for the New York Mets. I think
he's out for the year?
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't think he pitches another game for the New York Mets.
So do you think the injury is going to keep him out all season?
I don't think he pitches another game for the New York Mets.
Wow.
I don't know about that, but the concern is valid. The concern is very valid. When you talk about deGrom and what we saw last season, I mean, the injury bug happened. It hit him over and over and over. We think he's going to come back. Then he's out again. And this season, you're looking at it like, okay, you're going into a new season. This is ultra concerning that we didn't even get a start from him to start the season. This is completely spring training, scratch from his last spring training start. Now Scherzer has a hamstring. And on the money side of it, Mike, that you brought up, we know where this is coming from. He signed, I have the number here, 5-year, $140 million contract in 2019.
2019.
Yeah, and he immediately, I think he fired his agent or something. He was so unhappy, within moments of signing it, he knew he made the wrong decision because he's the best pitcher in baseball. When he's healthy, there is no pitcher better than Jacob deGrom.
He won a Cy Young and signed that contract. He signed it with his agents. It was Brody Van Wagenen's people. Okay? So, and obviously Brody Van Wagenen did the deal, and it was a great deal. Thank you, Brody. But
for the Mets,
right.
Terrible deal for him.
It doesn't look like a good deal right now for him. But you signed the contract. So if you're upset with somebody, it's not with the Mets. Okay, you don't take it out on the Mets and their fan base. I believe that's one of the reasons why. I also believe one of the reasons why he's not going to pitch another game for the Mets is because no matter if he feels any sort of discomfort whatsoever, and it could be the slightest thing possible, and this he ended up being right about. There was something in his shoulder, and I'll give him that, and I'll apologize because I called him soft all of Thursday night and a Friday. He still is soft, and he still is fragile. But so I'm not apologizing. But he is going to worry about himself and his health and his future because he wants that contract next year. I don't think he pitches again. I don't think he pitches this year. I'd be shocked.
Do you think it's because he's felt like he's given his all in his last number of years? They've never won with him. They never score runs for him. Mm-hmm. Is it more of a team thing, or is it just him? I don't know what it is.
If it's the team thing, then who the hell would want this guy?
And I'd push back against that even. I mean, everything that he said the past 2 years, it's all about the money. He signed the contract. He immediately regretted it. He saw the big money that Scherzer and other guys have gotten. He's like, no.
Especially Lindor. Yeah.
Lindor, yeah. He's like, I'm going to get mine at any cost.
Don't even compare it to position players. You can't do that. Compare it to what Steven Strasburg got this offseason after him. He got 7 years, $175 million. Compare it to Garrett Cole, who got, if Jacob deGrom had the season that he had, if he went into free agency, right?
Yep.
Let's say DeGrom doesn't sign the extension before 19. He wins the Cy Young 2 straight years. He goes into a free agency pool with Garrett Cole, Steven Strasburg, and himself. He's the best pitcher in the class. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And he gets the 9 years, $340 million, whatever it was, from the Yankees. The $36 million a year. Jacob deGrom gets that contract. So if he has a beef with anybody, it's not with the New York Mets. It's with his agent.
It's with himself. He played himself.
It's with himself. He took money early. Yeah. He didn't trust himself. Well, you just won a Cy Young, Jacob, and had one of the best seasons maybe since Clayton Kershaw in that 2018 season compared to when Kershaw won the MVP in the early 2010s. Come on, Jacob. You're going to take it out on us? I'm not here for it. I'm not. And get him the hell out of here. Get him out. I'll take his jersey and I'll burn it. I don't care. He's been my favorite player for 6+ years. I don't care.
And it's not like this you can't put on deGrom, unfortunately. But
no, he's hurt. He's hurt.
No, it's not that. I'm just saying you can't put injuries fully on him. I mean, part of it you can, but here's what I'll say though: have the Mets won with him? Have they? Like as good as
they got to the World Series with him.
No, yeah, but my point is that. Since 2015, have they won with him?
No.
I'm not blaming him for that. My point is that we're looking at Mets history here, and they've had this history since 1962. That's when they've come to baseball. They've always been known for pitching, all pitching.
Seaver and Ryan.
Yes, all you think about is Mets is pitching, right? Have the Mets won with pitching? No, they haven't won with pitching. They need offense. My point is that has it worked? Like I'm not blaming deGrom for not winning. My point is that you haven't won.
So change of philosophy, you're saying?
Yes, that's my point. Like it's not always all about pitching. Pitching is very important, but you need to hit.
But when you have a luxury of having the best player in baseball, best pitcher in baseball on your team, and then have the opportunity to go get the second or third best starting pitcher in the league, don't you do that? And the Mets haven't had a good rotation in a few years now. It was bad last season. It was bad in 20. It was terrible in 19. They couldn't pitch to save their life.
There's factors of that last year though, because deGrom did get hurt. Last year.
So, okay, fine.
Walker ran out of gas.
You want to exclude last year? We can exclude last year. 20, they were bad. 18, they were bad. 19, the pitching was horrendous in 2019.
But not for their lack of trying. They had Syndergaard and other guys who didn't really work out. They had exciting prospects, though.
I mean,
they
put in the effort.
That's it. We're not going to get into Mets history. I understand what you're saying, Ross, and I just think that they had an opportunity that presented itself with the best pitcher in baseball. Why not go after it? Why not add more pitching? You need pitching to win.
No, you need pitching to win, but I look at all these previous teams that have won championships over the last number of years. They don't have elite starting rotations. They really don't. I mean, they have a great bullpen. Look at the Royals. When they won the World Series in 2015, they had a great bullpen.
The Royals are such a huge outlier.
But here's the thing, that they did it the right way in the sense that they didn't rely on the home run ball, and they had a great bullpen. They didn't have great pitch.
But I don't think that philosophy will ever work again. Even look at 2020. I know it was a bubble season.
Don't look at 2020. I don't want to compare anything from a full season to a shortened season.
Okay, never mind. Look at 20. Nope, the Astros are terrible. Their starting rotation was bad. Okay,
which year?
2021. That Braves rotation was nice. It was kind of deep. But the Astros just have a lot of offense.
Isolate that comment. No. 2021. I mean, Luis Garcia, okay pitcher. Framber Valdez, they weren't. You're right. They weren't a great rotation. Both teams were. Yeah. I wouldn't even say the rotation for the Braves was great. I mean, they had two guys up top that were really good. Max Fried, and Charlie Morton.
Yeah.
Those guys were legit. Max Fried is a legit ace. But you're right that it wasn't a deep rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had a good bullpen and a bullpen that got hot.
Yeah.
And they were able to hit. Listen, there's no formula to winning in the postseason. Nobody knows it. You can win games in the regular season by doing a certain thing. We see the Rays do it every year. The Rays have, they use openers, they use a ton of relievers, and you can win like that.
The biggest shock for me was that starting pitching is kind of going down the tubes is when they traded Blake Snell. That was a star pitcher. He was an ace.
And look at that.
And they traded him.
And he was terrible last year.
Yeah.
But
he was terrible.
Well, and that's the thing, too. When you look at guys who I remember when the Yankees had when they had Andrew Miller, and he was on the team, and they traded, and part of it was because they were selling at the time, but another reason is because the guy, they felt like he was going to break down, and I think that's kind of similar with deGrom. If he wants, I don't know what he wants, but let's say I'm just putting a hypothetical number out there. Let's say he wants $275.
I'll tell you what he wants. He wants $45 million a year.
So it's like $300 million.
Well, probably for 4 years, for 4 or 5 years, for 4.
Yeah, I would say thank you for your time and service, but we're moving on.
Yeah.
Here.
At this point, who would give him that money?
So I feel like some team is going to give him that.
I
hope it's not the
Mets.
I hope it's not the Mets, but some team is going to give him that.
I heard a name thrown out there today from Buster Only.
Who's that?
Atlanta.
Oh, no.
Would Atlanta say...
It's always a division rival.
No! Would Atlanta say, here's a short-term contract for 3 years, and here's $45 million a year. You get to pitch against the Mets 14 times a year starting next year. Yes. You get to do it in a city where it's, the media coverage is not nearly as much.
Yeah.
In New York, deGrom's a very laid-back guy. He doesn't like attention.
Yeah.
He'll be sitting pretty in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Nice place to live, yeah.
Nice place to live. He's from Florida.
Yep.
It makes sense if he wants out, and I think he wants out. I don't think he's a Met. I don't.
If you got into a bidding war with the Atlanta Braves or anybody in the division, do you then up the money?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then I would.
Yeah.
Then you
if they feel the need, well, I'm doing it because I want them to spend. I'm trying to get into a bidding war so they spend more.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword. You drive the price up for your rival, and then if you get him, you get him. You got a really good pitcher when he's healthy.
Do you want him, though?
But do you want him?
What?
And it's all going to come down to, listen, if he doesn't pitch again for the rest of the season, his agents believe that he's going to get $45 million plus for 3 to 4 years. They believe that. He doesn't have to pitch again this season.
But my point is, and I'm just... If you're deGrom, how could you really blame the Mets? I mean, at the end of the day, they gave you your money in 2019. I mean, they do believe in you. They gave you your money, and I don't even think it's a money thing at this point with guys anymore in terms of athletes and stuff. It's all about
feeding egos.
New York. Egos. I think egos and New York, it never fits. I'm not saying deGrom has that. I'm just saying, my point is it happens with a lot of players. It just does. And look, I'm just saying it's not doom and gloom for the New York Mets. First of all, the New York Mets, as great as deGrom is, he's fantastic when he's on the mound. He really is.
They don't win with him every time.
They don't win. They don't score runs. So what does it mean? I'd rather win 10-8.
Did you watch that Foolish Baseball video about the 2020 Mets?
No.
They're like the worst team. Oh man, I'm trying to remember.
With guys on
worst team with guys on base. Yes.
Yeah.
Just all
that
time
was astounding that year. How just they were great hitting when nobody was on, and you get one guy on base, 2 guys, 3 guys, whatever. They just can't hit with a runner on the base.
And you bring up a good point, Ross. This is still a good team.
Yes.
Now, if Scherzer, for whatever reason, is out for a long time, which I'll knock on wood, doesn't matter. The franchise is cursed. I'll say it doesn't seem like it's going to be a long-term injury, but it will be. Watch.
Yeah. Mike, the 2 injuries as a baseball fan that terrify me. You're talking about an oblique, and you're talking about a hamstring.
Oblique's a scary one.
Oblique's the scariest one. Hamstrings, though, are really, really tricky.
You got to just... They're easier than obliques.
Yes, but
because
still.
If you treat it, if you don't rush it like they're doing, and you treat it, you could figure it out.
But my question to you is that I feel this all the time with the Mets when they sign a player and then you see like they're dealing with a little nagging injury in spring. You always hear like after the fact, well, they were dealing with this a little bit last year. Like, thanks for the reminder. Like, why can't you just know this before?
Doesn't that come up in the physical when they sign the guy?
He said, you're talking about Scherzer and how he said...
Even Marte, like, it was like he had a little fractured rib. Like, can you know that before?
Well, they do know it before. We just don't know it.
Don't sign him.
We just don't know
it.
Well,
to be fair, a fractured rib will heal by the time the season starts. He looks great in spring training now.
No, he does, but I'm just saying, like, you don't know this before you sign the man?
But would that really prevent you from signing him if it heals during spring training or on the offseason? Would that prevent you from signing him?
Yeah, but he's older. You don't just get the injuries don't get better when you get older. That's all I'm saying.
That's a fact.
It's a fractured rib. He'll be fine.
Max Scherzer will he'll pitch a bullpen session tomorrow, and we'll know whether or not he can go this weekend. I'll say this. I know opening day is this great magical holiday and opening weekend and whatever you want to say about it. Do not rush him just so that he can pitch on Thursday or Friday or at any point in the series. If he has to go in Philadelphia, he has to go in Philadelphia, and that's it. Don't rush it. And I don't think Buck's going to do that. Buck Showalter's a smart enough guy to realize this. Maybe past regimes would have said, oh, my God, we signed this guy. We have to get him out there. No. Buck's going to make sure he's 100% go. And if he's good to go this weekend, he's good to go this weekend, and we get to watch him. Yeah. But I don't think he's going to be able to go. We'll find out tomorrow. We'll know that. We should do predictions tomorrow.
I was thinking we do that tomorrow. We don't have Wednesday show. We have to do it tomorrow.
We don't have Wednesday, so maybe tomorrow we'll do predictions.
I already have mine written down. You inspired me to write mine down.
Yeah, I have everything down. I think the Mets make the playoffs still. You know, like
I don't have them win the division anymore. Ever since the deGrom news, I don't have them win the division.
No, and I was always, I would flip-flop each day, whether I thought the Braves or the Mets would. And, and now I would definitely say the Braves 100%.
I said the Braves even prior to this injury.
Right.
So and that's just because of the offense.
Yeah, they're better.
Yeah,
they're a better team. And they're getting Acuna back.
Acuna's
not even there right now.
Yeah.
And if you look at their roster on paper, it's still one of the best in the league without him. So imagine what it's going to look like when they get one of the 5 best players in the league back. You are listening to WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College in 90.3 WHPC. I'm Michael Merlo. I have Joshua Umahi, Matt Leonard, Elijah Blain, and Ross Levine with me. Just very quickly, the starting pitchers, I give you 3 reasons why their value is going down, why it's going in the tank. It's gone. And I love starting pitching. It's my favorite part of the game. I love starting pitchers. But one of the reasons, they're unreliable because they cost too much. Some of them can't go 2 or 3 times through the lineup, and managers and people in the front office would rather see a fresh arm in there, and they get hurt.
Yeah,
that's the reason why.
There's no rocket science to avoiding injuries. Guys get hurt anyway, even when they don't pitch. I mean, it's just nature. Unfortunately, I mean, it's one of those things where look. I say this about the Giants. I'll say it about pitchers. They're made of plastic.
Every athlete today. I was thinking about this before while I was driving. Every athlete today is soft. It doesn't matter. You can compare it to any era. They're all soft, and it's partly not their fault. It's in part because they make so much money. They make so much money, and these owners and these people that employ them do not want to risk anything.
I think part of it is like the improved science and medicine we have to treat these injuries they have. We can tell if there's a minor injury that could turn to a major injury, rather than back in the day, it's like, just rub some dirt on it and you'll be fine. Like, it's different now.
If back in the day, if you're playing with a torn ACL, there's like nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah.
516-572-7440 if you want to get on in the discussion. I forgot to mention that before while we were talking about Jacob deGrom. If you want to talk about the Mets, Jacob deGrom, anything. We're going to move on to the Yankees here, though, because Carlos Beltran's name is being thrown into the mud, baby. I love Carlos Beltran. He is entertaining, of course. He was almost the Mets manager when they were hiring a new one after the 2019 season. But, of course, the investigation of the sign stealing came out with the Houston Astros from 2017, and he was one of the main culprits of it. And he was the only player to seriously get punished. And I'm going to say it because he wasn't a player that got punished. He was a retired player, and he was becoming a manager. But it just so happened that he was the only name from any player. The only player's name that was mentioned in the report was Carlos Beltran, which I believe is wrong, but that's a debate for another day. Every time I say that, we have so many debates for other days.
We have to make spots on the other days now.
Beltran was the only guy named in the report, and he ended up being fired by the Mets because, of the look of it. But let's see how it ties into the Yankees, because it ties into the Yankees big time. So the Yankees interviewed him for their managerial candidacy after they fired Joe Girardi after 2017. They then had him, I think he was a finalist, or one of the 3 finalists, before they hired Boone, and hired him in a front office role.
Mm-hmm.
that now all of this comes out. I think he was gone already by then. He's now hired by the Yes Network. He's going to do a few games for them, studio work, things like that. And he did an interview with Michael Kay on Center Stage yesterday. And we should have got clips. I mean, it just came out this morning.
Yep.
So maybe we'll play clips tomorrow. He was talking about the whole situation. And he says that nobody ever told them that they were doing something wrong. That the front office got a notice from the Major League Baseball telling them to stop, and the front office never gave it to them.
Okay. First of all, how do you not know you're doing something wrong when you're stealing signs illegally with cameras? And it's part. We've talked about this before. But it's part of the game. You're reading pitchers, tipping pitches, whatever. That's fine. I feel like you're using a camera in center field and relaying information to the dugout. How do you not know that's one, illegal, and two, just morally wrong?
One of the reasons why is because they felt as though everybody was doing something because they had just put the video room right next door to the clubhouse, right next to the
so
dugout.
everybody's doing it, so we'll do it too. It doesn't make it right.
So it doesn't. I'm not making an excuse
No,
for
I
them.
agree with you, but yeah.
But something I learned was that they didn't realize they were doing something wrong. Like, while they were doing
I'm not
this,
buying that. No,
I'm not buying that
don't
either.
buy it.
I'm not buying that.
You think that they knew the whole time it was wrong.
Maybe not the whole time, but at some point you got to think, hey, this isn't right. Let's keep doing this and we're winning.
This is like if you're going 100 miles an hour on a school zone. You just speed past the school.
Like, but I got home faster.
Yeah, and the cops pull you over and they're like, sir, you know the speed you were going, right? Like, oh, no, nobody told me. I didn't see any signs. Like, no, it's the same thing.
They were a blur. They flew by too fast.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you look at... we got to look at how he was explaining it. That's the thing, because he explained it in a way where it's like, hey, listen, he might be just defending himself and his players, and I get that, and I could be naive. But I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Mm-hmm. What was the quote again?
He had said, it's not exact, he had said that there was a notice from Major League Baseball that was sent to the front office, and nobody told them to stop. He was asked the question of, did anybody tell you to stop doing it? And they said, no, why would we stop? We didn't think we were doing anything wrong, and it was working.
I mean, like,
it's working. That's the key.
You talk to other players in the league. You go to other ballparks. You don't hear trash can banging or any other sounds in like Safeco Field or something. And I
the
think
difference is at the time they were terrible.
Yeah. Well, like if you're terrible, you could cheat a little bit, but
or will it get you though?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but like the evidence suggests that no other team was doing this. The only evidence that other Astros fans use that saying that other teams were doing this was one series. I went to one game.
Was the Apple Watch gate?
With the Apple Watch. Yeah, I went to that game, that series with the Yankees and the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. They're using Apple Watches against each other to steal signs.
Against
and then
each other.
I think someone complained.
So it's fair.
Yeah, someone on the Yankees complained that it was too complicated, and then they just dropped it entirely.
So this letter that is being uncovered about the Yankees, the Yankee letter, I just read about it before the show started. It explains that the Yankees were the ones that went to Major League Baseball about the Red Sox. So it has nothing to do with the Yankees cheating. It has something to do with the Yankees showed this to Major League Baseball, and they then had Major League Baseball investigate them. And, there was a small fine or whatever. They did break some rules, not bad.
That was 2017, right?
Right. And then the Red Sox said, oh, well, they're tattling on us. Why don't you investigate them? And there was really nothing there. It was even lower than what...
I hate when people bring up that as a point against the Yankees. It's not systematically cheating and just using real time stuff to guess pitches. The Apple Watch stuff, it sucks, it's bad. But the Astros kind of elevated that cheating. And we still haven't seen evidence to suggest that other teams are doing the same thing.
Right, we haven't seen anything about that at all. Now, I want to make a case for something because Brian Cashman and Carlos Beltran have a very good relationship. Okay, Brian Cashman suggested to the Yes people that they bring in Carlos Beltran to be, studio analyst. He's gonna do a few games for them this year. And he was in the booth today. I think the next manager of the New York Yankees is Carlos Beltran.
If we underperform, I wouldn't be so surprised. And also if we keep Cashman.
If they keep Cashman, and now the question is, and I heard this before, if they are underachieving.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a managerial change.
Like during the season?
No, just in general. Just, after the season, the Yankees win 89 games and they made the playoffs, but they were bounced out in the first round. And they want to make a change at manager. Do you believe that Brian Cashman should have the ability to hire another guy?
Do you know, Hal Steinbrenner is going to let Brian Cashman do it anyway.
So if that's the case, then Beltran's got to be number one on the list.
If that's the situation, then I'd expect Beltran to be number one on the list.
Beltran, he has a good relationship with Brian Cashman. He always has. Cashman hired him right after he retired.
He was here for not even that long.
No, he wasn't, and I don't understand where this relationship starts.
Yeah.
Because he was here for 2 years, and the Yankees were bad.
Yeah, that was 2014, 2015, I think.
15, 16.
Yeah,
so they went to the playoffs. They weren't that great of a team, and then he was with them before he got traded to the
Carlos
Rangers.
Beltran is more of a Royal, in my opinion.
More of a Met.
More of a Met.
More of an Astro than a Yankee.
He strikes me as like a super personable guy. Yeah. That's how he gets all these friends in higher positions, all these managerial positions when he hasn't really managed before to that extent. People like him. He's a good teammate. He's clearly shown he's willing to do anything to win. Front offices like that. So
I like that.
There you go.
Do you guys remember when the Yankees were playing the Red Sox in London? This was in 2018.
Yep.
And both the Yankees and the Red Sox are hitting very well. And Alex Cora had said something along the lines of, well, they have Carlos Beltran, and he's got that, magic touch or that secret weapon.
Yeah.
He's got that secret weapon.
Yeah, I remember that.
How funny is that? Go back full circle, and even to the point, listen, nothing was ever brought up on it, but the Boston Red Sox in 2018 were one of the best teams I've ever seen with my own two eyes. Nobody brings it up, and there's no investigation going on whatsoever, but you never know. Maybe Alex Cora had that magic touch over there in Boston. What did I just say? That secret weapon. Secret weapon.
I just hate all of this. Like that World Series and those people who participated in it. I can't really like any of them.
Alex the Red Cora. Sox that year?
Yeah, no, the 2017 Astros.
Oh,
it's just tough.
Okay.
Because a guy like Cameron Maybin was on the team, and he was there for a second.
Do you think a guy like Jake Marisnick had anything to do with it, really?
No, not really. Even Altuve said that.
No, he was a big part of it. He had to be.
I don't think so.
He won the MVP that year.
Yeah, he won. I think he benefited from it, but he's adamant that he says that he had nothing to do with it.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Because you guys just went all over the place. I want to bring up the 2017 because you've got Brian Cashman still going on and on and on about 2017. Brian, enough. I listened to Buster Olney's podcast. He went on there to explain himself. We get it, and he mentioned. He said, one of the public relations people, one of the communication guys, came over to him and said, it's generating a lot of noise.
Yeah, I mean, that was his best chance to win another World Series since 2009, I think, and I still think that we're kicking ourselves that we didn't win that series. We didn't put up runs.
It's clearly not all your fault.
Yeah, but we didn't put up runs in Minute Maid Park. We didn't really close out the series. We're up 3-2 against the Astros at Yankee Stadium, and we blew it. Actually, at Minute Maid Park, we blew it.
Well, Elijah, okay, let's say you finish off the Astros. The Dodgers went to 7 games with a team that was cheating.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't think we're beating the Dodgers.
You really think that Yankees team was beating the Dodgers?
No.
They were not beating that Dodgers team. That Dodgers team was stacked.
That was Corey Bellinger in his prime, really.
Well, whatever you want to call his prime. He was MVP year, yeah.
It was his best year so far as a Major League Baseball player. But
that was MVP year 2017 for Bellinger?
I don't know.
Or was
that
that 18 for him?
I got to look.
I think 18 he won the MVP.
Wow, Chris Sale will not pitch in the majors until at least June.
God.
Okay. Well,
she has such bad luck.
There goes the Red Sox. Actually, I can't say that. No.
Pavetta's pitching well.
What's his injury, Mike? Chris Sale?
Tommy John?
No, I honestly got
don't know. Right?
It's so much. He just came back from Tommy John last year.
Oh, so it's arm related then.
It's arm related, yeah.
It kind of goes back to what you were saying about starting pitchers because I was thinking about this earlier. Like, how many guys can you say that just drove gas, pitch after pitch after pitch? How well do they really hold up?
That start games.
Tough. That start games, yeah, exactly. That start games.
Because relievers now, everyone's doing that, you know?
That consistently pitch 5, 6, 7 innings.
Exactly,
Like the days of Randy Johnson and people like that, they're just over.
What happened, though? Those guys held up fine.
His MVP year was 19. That's what I thought.
Okay.
His rookie year, he was fantastic in it.
He was.
Yeah.
But that was,
Rookie of the year.
That was 2017.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not normal for you to, take a ball and throw 100 pitches and, more than half of them be 98 miles per hour or more, have movement on your pitches and throw different types of pitches. It's not normal to do that. So, you're going to see injuries to your arm. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, look at Clayton Kershaw. A lot of his best pitches are off-speed pitches. Mm-hmm. And
he's wearing down.
He's wearing down, but he's lasted quite a while.
Lefties are different. Lefty pitchers can last like forever.
He's also not throwing hard.
Yeah.
I'm talking about hard throwers. He doesn't throw hard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the secret secret for deGrom is to just throw less hard, in my opinion.
That's what he's got to do.
But it's what he does is what he's best at. It's what separates him from the pack.
If you remember, when he first came up, he wasn't what he was in 2018. He was still a very good pitcher, averaging about 95, 96. Now he's averaging 98, 99, and he's hurting himself. He could go back to 97, maybe 96 again. You'll be fine.
You want to throw 100, 101 miles an hour late in the games in a big spot.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. Pick your poison.
Cole does that. I like that.
Why can't you sit around 97, 98 miles an hour, throw your changeup at whatever, 88, 89, your slider at 90, 91?
So you guys would be okay with deGrom taking a little step back in performance? Just to last longer.
I do not think it'll be a step back in performance.
His stuff is so good.
Yeah. Yep.
He's so accurate. He puts the ball wherever he wants it. And he only uses one side of the plate for whatever reason. He could still be dominant. Maybe not 1.70 ERA.
But still
the high velocity, the 100, 101 is what's made him otherworldly.
But could he
I don't think it matters if he has like a low 2. That's still elite. I would take that.
I agree with you.
Could he win a Cy Young tomorrow? 100%.
Yes.
He could win a Cy Young sitting 2.5, 2.6 ERA at 97, 98 miles an hour on his fastball.
Well, if you throw a 96-mile fastball, as you said, you should still be like a pretty good pitcher.
Absolutely do it. Justin Verlander did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But great example.
It also just looks at, with any of these players, when these guys get to a point where they're just, you move on when they, decline.
Right.
That's when you move on to me. And I think that's why if you move on from deGrom, that's the reason. You feel like he's going to break down and you're going to have Tommy John surgery again because he's already had it. And he's going to be out for, let's say he gets like a 4-year deal somewhere. He's going to probably miss 2 of those years.
But if he can take, and somebody's got to get in his head, and I don't know if it's somebody with the Mets, I don't know if it's somebody, that close to him, his agents, whatever, he's got to take the Justin Verlander route. He's got to take something off of this fastball. He's got to, I don't know, not save himself, but
Preserve,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to preserve
your arm.
And look, that's not Showalter just got here, so it's not really up to him to get that into his head.
Yeah, but now it should be. Yeah. This is Showalter's reputation on the line here. This is his last chance to go win a World Series. He's going to need Jacob deGrom to do it. We're still talking here. 516-572-7440. Excuse me, Cashman. Carlos Beltran today was on the Yankees broadcast for their spring training game versus the Phillies. And Aaron
Judge, the Phillies every day.
They do play the Phillies every day. Aaron Judge came up to the plate, and Beltran was talking about Aaron Judge and had a mishap while he was speaking. He was talking as if Aaron Judge had already signed his extension with the Yankees. So it was like,
oops. I saw this earlier, yeah.
So people were like, did Carlos Beltran just break the news live on air that Aaron Judge is re-signing? No, he's not.
He literally said the words, him being able to create this new contract with the Yankees. Like he said it in the most blunt fashion, just putting it all out there. That's hilarious. By accident.
There's a lot of sports media news out here right now. So, Joe Davis is going to be the voice of the World Series.
Yes!
He's the guy that does He does some baseball games.
He's Dodger baseball.
He does Dodger baseball, and he does a little NFL. And the Mets are hiring Jake Eisenberg. I've never heard of this guy. He's going to be a radio play-by-play host because Howie Rose's going to miss like 20 to 30 games this year. So they wanted to have somebody else behind Wayne Randazzo, and he's going to do games with Randazzo.
That's unfortunate for Howie. I love him.
He's not dead.
No, but like it's still sad.
He's not retiring. He's just going to take a couple games off.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought because you had the surgery last year. I thought it was related to that.
Well, I'm sure it is, but he's only taking 20 to 30 games off.
Yeah, it's true. Out of 162, that isn't that bad.
Not that bad. He'll still be there. Howie will still be
He'll be there for more games than deGrom will.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't really care about the World Series stuff unless they get rid of Smoltz. I hate Smoltz so much.
I like Smoltz.
I love Smoltz. He's an expert on everything.
Yankees hater.
He honestly, every time he says something at the Mets, it's wrong.
Yeah,
It's always
He's always
wrong.
high on the Mets because he loves pitching.
Yeah, but think about it like this though. This is how I know for a fact that there was he was completely off base because what happened was they asked him, "Oh, how do you like Luis Rojas?" He says we do. He likes him, and then he goes to Ken Rosenthal because he still did Fox at the time. Still does a little bit, I think.
Yeah, he still does Fox.
Yeah.
He still does, and he went up to, and I think the guy that does the Padres games he asked Ken Rosenthal the question and says, will he be back? And in all likelihood, probably not. So it's funny how right after they asked him the question, it just it's so stupid that
Rojas is great. Was he back? No.
Yeah, he's not back.
Well, I mean, that's different. He can like Rojas and he can know the Mets don't like him. That's a different thing.
But to think that he's definitely going to be back, it's no. You have everything.
You had to know, right? Yeah. That ran its course very quickly.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge extension. Let's talk about that. Apparently, I read from Andy Martino that the offer currently was $30 million plus a season. So more than $30 million.
Yeah.
He's not worth
it.
His talent is worth it. He's the same issue with deGrom. He's going to be on the field for the 160. Even put him on the field for 140, and I'll take $30 million for him.
But last year was really good. He was on the field a lot. I mean, he's the face of the franchise at this point. They want to lock him up, make sure he doesn't go out west or somewhere else.
He's younger than
he's younger than deGrom. I think he has a solid 5 more years of elite play.
It's also not, you can't compare it because deGrom is using his arm to throw. That his
and that's
arm
100 times
everything.
a game, every 5 days. But still.
Sure, there's an injury risk with anybody, and there's specifically an injury risk with Aaron Judge. Sure, I'll agree with you, but you got to pay him. You got to give him what he wants, and he's going to get what he wants. So I don't know when that's going to come out. I'm guessing in the next 2 days we'll have.
Yeah,
he's not going to sign a deal before.
So Thursday.
So Thursday, it's going to rain Thursday, though.
Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be bad weather Thursday.
So you're saying that'll add to the contract extension talks?
It actually almost happened with the Mets last year. Remember
with Lindor, yeah.
Lindor wouldn't sign an extension past opening day, and they did it the night before opening day, but the morning of, they canceled the whole series.
They're not going to do an opening day doubleheader.
No, they would just play
good.
Friday.
Good.
Because Friday's open.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
They leave it open.
It's always open.
Friday's open, so... I don't know. I think we'll get it in the next 2 days. I think Judge will be a Yankee. I think it'll be about a 7 or 8 year contract.
Yeah, I'm not as scared as I was before. Now I'm seeing the number.
So you're saying 7 years, maybe 215, so a little above 30 each?
Yeah, and it's going to be an overpay. I think
it has to be.
Yeah, it just has to be because someone else is going to offer him a lot of money. The Angels are going to say, "Okay, now suddenly we want to win a World Series."
I would love to see him on the Angels with Trout and Ohtani. I would love that.
I would hate it.
7 years, $230 million. That's my prediction.
Okay.
7 years, $230.
Yeah, I mean,
30
it's overpay, but you got to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it at this point.
It's about $33 million a year.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Is it like I said, for his talent? That's totally worth it. If you get him for 140 guaranteed every year, I would pay him 40 with his talent. But I mean, the injury risk is very real with him. He hasn't shown consistency with his health.
He hasn't, but he was healthy in 17.
And just last year was just a blueprint for the future seasons with him.
He was healthy last year.
Yeah.
And listen, these analytics people, they love these rest days, and I don't agree with, not believing in hot and cold streaks, But rest days are good, especially for guys like him. I think he'll be fine. I was on your side of this, Matt, but I ended up switching sides. They have to pay him. They have no choice. Cashman was speaking very highly of Josh Donaldson. I think he really, really likes this Josh Donaldson.
He has to. He made the deal.
Yeah, but he's talking about it, and listen, it's true. He's talking about it as if it's, this massive, massive move that they just traded for, a Bryce Harper. And that's how he's talking about it. And I mean,
he's a former MVP, but he's like washed and old.
I think Donaldson's going to be good for them. He's still a good offensive player.
Yeah.
He's going to be a good presence in the locker room, and I agree with Cashman here. I do. But let's not talk it up the way he was.
No.
A couple of trades. The Yankees made a trade.
I don't like this at all. I hate this trade.
Why
do you hate it?
I hate this trade so much.
I don't understand
Matt, the fact that you're so passionate about a trade of two middle relievers really, really strikes me.
I mean, I agree with Matt.
It's two middle relievers.
Listen,
Yeah.
I understand Castro is wild at times. I really thought he had potential. For
Yeah,
I really
I
did.
like adding
Wild is an
Castro.
understatement. That's the understatement of the year. He has no control. Yes, he throws hard, but
His
we've had so
stuff
many
was
pitchers
insane.
I understand that, but how many pitchers have we had that just have insane stuff that just they can't put it together? Jerry's Familia, great stuff.
He reminds me of a young Jerry's Familia at the end of his career. Before Familia was saving 40, 50 games in that 16 season.
But he has the potential,
The thing is,
right?
I think that if you got him with the right pitching coach and he stayed healthy, I think he could be a dominant reliever.
Yeah,
I
and that's with the Yankees.
I think it's
I hate it.
I think it's a great trade for the Yankees.
Yeah.
I do. It makes
I
sense.
do.
for
I
them.
agree.
Because our bread and butter. Okay, I can't even talk anymore. But yeah, we do power pitchers.
But the Mets needed a lefty reliever badly.
I
Yeah.
don't like the
Jolie,
lefty
But
they
he,
got.
but he can't get righties out. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
How many
Well, it's not
lefty
gonna be his
relievers
job.
can get righties out? And I understand now with this new rule with the 3-batter minimum, you have to be able to. But how many lefties get righties out?
There are some good lefty relievers that can get righties
There
out.
are some good, but they're the elite ones.
No, but he gets like hammered against righties, though. I looked at the stats. He gets destroyed.
And also, you have a good pitching coach in Jeremy Hefner. So the same thing you could say about going over to Matt Blake, who's a good pitching coach. Same thing for them. There's potential in both of these guys.
Have you seen the picture of Castro on the Yankees now?
Oh my God! What a
He looks like a different person.
that rule is the
Can I
stupidest
just-
rule on the planet.
Cut his hair, he shaved his beard.
As a bearded man, I have to say,
I was going to ask you, how do you feel about
I have hated the Yankees' little dress code for my whole life. It might be the reason I'm a Mets fan. It might just be the reason I'm a Mets fan since I can remember, because it's so stupid.
It is stupid.
Like, why? So, say you're going to keep, I don't know if this has ever happened because it's pretty petty, but say a player is like, has tattoos and everything, beard, hair, wild hair. He says, I don't want to play for the Yankees. Great player. Oh, I don't want to play for the Yankees because they have this weird dress code that they've upheld for forever. Like, it makes no sense.
Didn't Bryce Harper say something like, I don't want to shave my beard, so I'm not going there? He wasn't serious. He was like joking about it.
he was joking about it.
Yeah, but still, like, the fact people are joking about that, players of that caliber,
It's
that's
petty.
a problem.
It's petty, yes, but it's just stupid. It's stupid to still have in place in 2020.
I don't think it's strong enough. I don't think players feel strong enough. I mean, like, look at Johnny Damon. He had like the biggest beard ever. He
Whole
shaved
hair.
it. Yeah.
Did you remember? I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but Odor.
Yeah,
He got to the Yankees.
he looked like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, if you're with the Yankees, it's just that's something you have to do. I don't think players care that much.
I hate it.
It
I don't like it.
I think it's like I think if a player objects strongly, I don't think it's gonna stand. But I don't think a player like the strongest objection that we had so far was McCutchen, but McCutchen was only here for a second. That's
but like if you're a great player, does it really matter if you have a mustache, a beard? Like, does it really matter?
Exactly. Like,
But I just
how
think
is it
it's-
baseball
I
related?
don't care. Like, I want a great player.
That's
The
just-
look of the Yankees,
yeah, that's
pride
just
of the Yankees.
the Steinbrenners want.
And look,
Look at the Yankees.
That's what it
Give me
is.
a break.
in terms of Castro, though, like, look, he was very good in the first half with the Mets. He was very good. Second half, horrendous. He was really bad.
That was the
Wild.
whole team.
when the sticky stuff came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And look, I think he does have potential. He does. He also has potential to walk the ballpark. He just does. He's gonna walk a lot of guys. Trust me.
Listen, he's like you said, he's a very wild guy. You can't trust him sometimes in big spots, but also He's going to be able to get anybody. He can get anybody out when he's on.
He can get anybody out, but he could also, with a 180 hitter, give a home run or a wild pitch.
It's Jerry's Familia in a younger, skinnier form. That's what it is.
And Rodriguez, and Rodriguez. Look, the Mets desperately needed Gillespie, desperately.
Chasen Shreve, though, who did make the team that was announced this morning, has looked very good in spring training and was even good last season and the year before when he was with the Mets. So
former Yankee.
I like Chasen Shreve. I do.
Yeah, and look, Joey Rodriguez, I did watch him. He's okay. You know, I think in spurts he could be pretty solid. Right. I wish they got like a premier lefty, like a premier.
Who, the Mets?
Yeah, like
the lefty that got traded on Matt the Mets didn't get. I'll tell you that. Manaea. Matt the Mets didn't worry on him as much as they should have been.
And that and also.
Well, hold on, we'll get to that in a minute.
The fact also is they needed to address that pen a little bit more for me. They left a little meat on the bone. Also,
Drew Smith, who looked very good last year. He's looked pretty good, not in high leverage situations. Now he fills that role of Miguel Castro, who I've always liked Drew Smith. I've had this weird thing about him. I think he's a real solid reliever. He just steps in and takes that role. He's a hard-throwing kid, more trustworthy, and he's not as wild. So he just slots right in, and you get Need, which is a lefty reliever.
Yeah,
I get why the Mets made this trade ever since I read this. So Joely Rodriguez still has 4 more years of club control.
Oh,
and Miguel Castro is going to be a free agent after this season.
Oh, that tips the scale.
You get a position of need, and it's under more years. So that's why it makes sense.
Okay.
Also, if you look, the Mets have Ottavino, May, Lugo, Diaz, all gone after this year.
Wow,
all gone after this year.
If
I'm okay with half of that.
If I had to ask you your bold take on who the next closer is in 2023, who is it?
Josh Hader. They're gonna make that trade. They've been flirting with that for years. They're gonna make the trade in the offseason.
Very nice.
Wait, he's a free agent.
No, I think they still have to trade for him. I mean, I think.
I would,
but
I'd be happy with that.
I would trade him for him now. I'm sorry, I just would.
I would too. Without the Brewers to give him up. No, they're good.
Okay, you want to trade Francisco Alvarez?
Yeah.
They're willing to. They're willing to do it.
I'm not giving up Alvarez for him. No way.
No way.
Alvarez stays for the future, no matter what.
They don't like Diaz at all. The Brewers don't like him.
Why would anybody like Edwin Diaz?
You add him with like a position player. With a position player.
Pete Alonso? Come on.
You could go Diaz, Davis, and a low-level prospect because they are in need of offensive help. I could see that.
Maybe Dom instead of Davis. They want lefty or righty.
They also have Devin Williams, who is their 8th inning guy, who I just drafted insanely high in fantasy yesterday because I have holds as one of my categories. He's a very good reliever, too, and can get people out. He could be a guy that slots right in and be a closer, possibly. I don't know why I can't find... Oh, there it is. It was right in front of my face. I'm trying to look up Josh Hader's contract, and I have a pick for tonight, and I wanted to talk about that.
All right.
So we'll save that Josh Hader talk for another day, because I do believe Josh Hader will be a New York Met in the coming years, to be honest with you. He's 27 years old. He just turned 27. Wow. Happy birthday. Free agent in 2024. So he's still got a year of control. It's going to cost a lot to get him, but if you want him, go get him.
I thought he was like 3 years older.
No, he's 20. Yeah, he looks it.
Michael Merlo's Stone Cold Lock Game of the Century of the Year of the Millennium.
I don't have a pick in the game who's going to win tonight in the men's championship.
You got a prop?
But no. I have not like a who's going to win. I have a total.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Total. I love the under 151.5.
Okay.
I'd stake my reputation on the under 151.5.
Wow.
Okay, don't listen to any pick I give ever if I don't get this one right.
I'm going to bet the over right now.
It's going to be an under in this game.
Like someone's got to take Anthony's role when he's not here.
That's true.
It's going to be an under in this game. I love how hard you laughed at your own joke. That was funny. All right.
You know what, Mike? While we're on the topic of college basketball, Duke.
Yes, let's talk about Duke, because I was so happy. As people like to say, I mushed the pick so perfectly on Saturday night. I had UNC money line. Oh, yeah, I said all week, Duke. There's no way Duke loses. They lost. Also, I think most Met fans, not including me here, yes, you guys mush the New York Mets, by the way, and their luck. I do believe that.
My God.
I think Matt, Anthony, not so much Josh, Justin, all mush the Mets' luck. I am a full believer in that.
Why you got to kick us while we're down?
Not so much you, Josh.
So we jinxed the Mets, you're saying?
I think you jinxed the Mets.
We've been cursed since 1962. We didn't do anything.
You're right, but deGrom didn't have to get hurt yet, and Scherzer didn't have to go down right after.
Oh, come on.
Yo. I truly believe that. We had to sit in there and make anti-Yankee intros.
Oh, that's what you were a part of that.
And did I not object to that?
You didn't. You were totally a part of that.
Did I not object to that? Yes, I did.
I missed. Hold on.
What kind of
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was. At first you did.
To that.
At first, then you had fun. You were laughing at the John Sterling thing.
It was funny, when he made it. But I objected to that. I did not want to do that. Bad karma. I literally said we don't need bad karma. And look what happened.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm going to spoil Anthony's surprise. He has a Yankee one ready to go.
Well, it does nothing. It does nothing for me. We are a cursed franchise, and our fans mushed this whole thing.
I didn't do that.
We mushed it all.
It's like you just put on the jersey, trip on a rock, whatever.
Fall in a hole running from a boar.
Fall down the stairs, whatever.
I'm never going to let that go.
Do you know what? I have a theory that I think the Mets franchise sold their soul to win that 86.
Yep.
Well, Bill Buckner. Yeah, I think that's the curse of Bill Buckner right there.
It's kind of like the Cubs with the Billy Goat.
Yeah.
So in 108 years, Mets fans.
Yeah. Oh no! While we're talking about Duke and mushing and karma and all that, Coach K, the fact that you lost the last home game at Cameron Indoor, and you let your biggest rival, might be the biggest rivalry in sports.
It could be.
You let them spin the block and get you again.
I don't know. I don't know how. Duke can never say that they have bragging rights over UNC. Nope. I think the rivalry is nearly over at this point, right?
Duke fans can never, ever say that again.
Well, the all-time record.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
The all-time record is 50-50.
Well, when Coach K is there, yeah.
This was
so momentous, though.
This win added these last two wins probably added 5 to 6 wins. Let's get a pick very quickly before we get out of here. Who do you think wins?
I can't go against Caleb Love, Manic, North Carolina.
I have Kansas. I have money on Kansas, but I think UNC is too hot.
UNC. Yeah, they're very hot.
I'm going Kansas. I think Kansas wins the game tonight.
All right.
Thank you for listening to WHPC Sports Talk. For Joshua Umahi, Matt Leonard, Elijah Blain, and Ross Levine, I am Michael Merlo here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.